Hello, Philip here from Chiang Mai in northern Thailand, reporting into the world in September 2022. As you can see, I'm by the river, and in Chiang Mai that means it's the River Ping. We've had a very wet, rainy season this year, tons of rain, and the river's pretty high at the moment, and you can see it's moving fast. It's broken over certain levels, but it hasn't broken its banks, probably not going to. The last time in Chiang Mai we had a huge flood was about 15 years ago, but we've nearly got there this year. That's by the by. I'm starting. This is my introduction video to a new series, which is all about you, the self. Common words in English are myself, yourself, oneself, ourselves, but we don't normally stop and say yourself or myself, and there's a key. So what I'm all about, and you may have seen the name of my video channel, A Spiritual Revolution. To me, a spiritual revolution is optimizing our own life by our own endeavors and efforts, and it takes a process of self-inquiry. So we look into everything about life, and we investigate and ask questions, and what we think we know and what we take to be true, we say, well, is it true? And where did I get that information from? And how do I know it to be true? And once we start on this path of self-inquiry, which is self-questioning, often it's observing oneself, one's self, we start to discover a lot more about life. And the idea is that we learn about ourself, who we are. And when we know who we are, we know how life works better, and life becomes, well, a lot less conflict, and a lot more camaraderie, and a lot more compassion, a lot more consciousness. And after all, we only get one life. There's no dress rehearsals, no dummy runs, no second goes. This is it. This is your lot. So my way of thinking is we spend equal time playing the game and observing. And this series is all about the self. It's the A to Z of the self, building yourself, activating yourself, and learning about yourself. Now it'll be A to Z. So A, which will be the next video, that will be me talking about self-awareness. In fact, I'll probably do 2 letters per video. So it'll start with self-awareness and self-belief. What are they? How do we know we've got them? How can we have them? Or if it's a bad one, I think most of the self's A to Z, they're going to be good concepts, but if there's a bad one, or we think it's bad, for example, self-consciousness, then we'll say, well, how do we not have it? But basically, this video is a series of explorations into who you are as a person. So I may talk about myself as an individual self, but we're all individual selves. So what applies to me applies to you within your context of life. So when we get onto the spiritual path, we quickly discover that in fact it's almost like there's 2 of us. There's the unique me, the Philip K, the man, the 58-year-old, the Arsenal fan, the Englishman who lives in Thailand. And then there's the self that we're all the same, which is your soul and your heart and your consciousness and so on. So full exploration on this series. The objective, as I said at the start, is that we enjoy our life more. We have more fun, more joy, and at the heart of all of that is to live in a healthy manner and live in harmony. Now, I'm an educator, and elsewhere and constantly, if you follow me in my journey, you will hear me not talking very positively about the school system. And I don't mean the teachers or the children or the administrators or the politicians or anybody. I mean the school system. The system is damaging us. It's quite probably destroying us. And we ended up with 2020. And for me, that is that's the trigger for all humans, individually and collectively, to say, hang on a minute, something's gone wrong. We need to investigate, we need to inquire. So that's what this series is of videos. It's a self-inquiry series, and as I say, we will begin with self-awareness and self-belief, and then we'll move on to self-confidence and self-determination. Then E and F is likely to be self-esteem and self-fulfillment. G is a big one, self-growth, and H, self-healing. You can get help from other people, but ultimately it's your body and your mind and your self that does the healing. So I hope you join me on this journey, and in fact, if you've begun on another letter and come back to it as the beginning, welcome to the series. Catch up with each letter. There's going to be at least one video a week, so this series will take 13 weeks or less. Let's see what happens. I'm on 6 minutes. Everybody tells me that the whole world's got a short attention span these days, so I better check out. So again, this is Philip. I'm in Chiang Mai. That's where I live. I've been here since 2002, and I've been in Thailand since 1991. Have a wonderful day, and I'll be back very soon with A and B. Cheerio.